Welcome back to the Kaput Gaming channel, everybody. Doing a little Warzone spectating video today. So I'm going to call these the State of Warzone series. I think a lot of things are going to be going on. A lot of things are going to be changing as this guy's, oh my gosh, a camper piece of trash didn't work out for him. And I think you're going to see a lot of that. And we'll talk about that. So let's dive into it. First thing I want to talk about is going back to World War II. A lot of people have been pissed off about that. They think it's lame, like been done before. And I mean, I agree. I'm with you there, right? Been done before. And what my thing is, like, I think there's a lot of cool potential with World War II. Like, Activision's always historically really pushed the envelope in terms of what they did with their campaigns in terms of the content, right? Like, as we're talking about the game where when I was a kid, you walked into an airport and shot up a bunch of civilians if you wanted to. So pretty crazy historically speaking, and obviously can understand why in the modern day and age you wouldn't want to go that route. The campaign was just dry. They don't really touch anything interesting. You could have layered on any kind of IP over like the, kind of plot line, and, it wouldn't have been tough. It's pretty ununique and bland, was my opinion. I mean, looked great, fun, quick little Call of Duty campaign. No major beef, but definitely lackluster. The flip side of that with like the guns and everything they made, I think it's sweet, man. I don't think the World War II limited what they did with the weapons. To me, it's kind of like a whatever. Guns are cool. There's plenty of new stuff to play with. To me, that's not a huge knock. World War II, whatever. Next big thing, I think this is the most important talking point, is the map. Like, a lot of stuff about the map. And this, it's one of those things, like, everyone complained about, Verdansk. Everybody had an issue with Verdansk. 3 kills, just running through the wide open. Kind of what you have to do in this map. We'll talk about that right now. So, like, first thing I want to address is lighting. There's issues with lighting in the old map, period. Plain and simple. There were certain corners you could back yourself into. You're basically invisible. Certain skins, the rose skin, had an advantage. They completely fixed that. So, like, if you're not saying something good about the lighting, I don't know what you wanted. It's too bright. I don't hear a lot of people saying that. I've heard people, like, mention it. To me, like, the lighting's excellent. You can play with the settings and get it just the way you want it. It's awesome. Terrain. Now, no doubt, the terrain is extreme and very, very different than Verdansk. To me, again, this is a huge, huge plus. A lot of people complaining about the terrain. It creates issues with getting around the map, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, it does. And I think that's the point. And I think, look, here's the reality. And this is something that not anyone's talking about. But it's something that Activision does talk about is, and you can agree with this or not, but this is Activision's opinion, and they've stuck to this pretty hard. They don't want people playing the edge of the gas. The point of this game, their BR in Warzone, is not to hold on the back of the gas and play all the way in. They've talked about it when it comes to map and gas dynamics, and they've talked about it when it comes to the gas mask, where people get pissed off, myself included. You put the gas mask on, you can't aim your gun and all that jazz. Here's the thing. That's intended. They do not want you to use gas to your advantage as it pertains to moving about the map. And so this more dramatic terrain, and we'll talk about how vehicles plays into this a little bit later, I think it totally is an intended result. It is harder to get around. You do have to get out in front of the gas. At the end of the day, the point of this game, the way they want you to play, is you got to get in the circle and you need to stay moving. That is what they want out of this BR. And the way the gas and the terrain works with some of the other gameplay mechanics that we'll talk about, I think they've absolutely achieved that. And what we're ultimately seeing, and you're going to see it already in some of this, spectating footage, is that camping is a lot tougher. And we'll talk about some of the changes they made with the rules that impact this as well. But I think the first thing is the terrain, the fact that a lot of times you're running more up than you are out, is the first leg of that. And I love that upgrade. So in terms of the map so far, lighting, improvement, terrain, great improvement. And here's the thing, if you hate terrain, as long as you're out in front of it and you have a game plan, you can avoid a lot of those situations until, a last circle where you might get forced into a situation. And then, the last thing I said about the map, the points of interest are awesome. There's no way you can look at the old map and the points of interest, the buildings there, the variety, the way they're laid out, the way they're positioned on the map, there's no way you can tell me that this map isn't a complete upgrade. We'll leave that there. To me, map, total upgrade. Creating something of this scale that supports 150 players in real time, I think bravo, hats off, total improvement, fix all the bad things, add in some new good things, love everything about it. I don't even think we've begun to really fully explore and appreciate this map, and I think you're going to start to hear a lot of people come around on that once they get adjusted. So we've talked about World War II, kind of IP theme, talked about the map. The next thing I wanted to talk about is what I'm calling the rules of engagement, kind of the rules that they've tweaked in the game, and that includes like vehicles and stuff like that. And this section is what we're going to talk about. First thing, and this goes back to what I was talking about, it really seems to me that they are trying to hone in on get to the circle, and you still have to be moving around even once you get there, trying to get rid of camping. And the first thing to me that did that is the loadout situation. So before, you could get money, buy a loadout whenever you want. Now, you have to wait till the end of the first circle, and then the loadout drops. At that point, you can buy one. So the end result is, throughout the entire first circle, there are no loadouts, which means there's no ghost players. It also means people have more cash. That's why they have the increased UAV cost of 6,000. But people are, I know us for sure, we're buying and using more UAVs, and we're getting way more hits because there's absolutely no ghosts. That is the biggest block to camping that I've ever seen from Activision. I as someone who just thinks camping totally ruins the fun of the game. You respawn, like, let's get aggressive and play, right? I love that. No one is talking about this. No one has mentioned this that I've seen. All I hear is complaints about having to wait for the loadout. I think the ground loot's killer. I think there's a ton of different options. And this totally gets rid of camping. You can't do it. If you camp in the first circle, you're going to have an aggressive team with a pocket full of UAVs and some solid ground loot come absolutely chop your head off. And then once we get to the second circle, it's like, hey, we're right back to where we are, but guess what? No heartbeat sensors. And you can say, hey, my heartbeat sensor helped me with campers. It's making it easier to camp. Baloney. That's not true. Campers love a good heartbeat sensor. They feel less secure sitting in a house with one. I just, at the end of the day, a camper is going to ghost anyway. So that is not how it plays out. At the end of the day, all it's done is kind of chop the legs out of campers. And I think it just makes the game play way more aggressive and way more fun. And here's the reality. I think you have a lot of people who were, cheaters before. Now they can't cheat because all that stuff's broken. We can talk about that here in a second. And, two, they were little campers, one or the other or both. And those people are all upset because now this game's not much fun for them. And they're out a lot quicker. I love it. I think it's great. And you know what? For the team that's used to playing ultra aggressive, they can really tear through this map. Used to claiming the high ground and staying in front of the circle, not kind of hiding back and playing the edge in. They're shredding some of these lobbies. That's how we're trying to play the game, be it, we execute and are good at it or not every time. For me, I just think it's a total upgrade. Again, anti-cheat, we'll talk about that in this. It seems to be working great. I've seen one suspect thing so far that I can really think of out of, about 200 games. So no issues on that front. Vehicles. Everyone's complaining about the vehicles. I like the old vehicles. The old new vehicles suck. They're supposed to suck. Back to, the point of this game is not to hang out on the edge of the circle. So again, the problem with playing the edge of the circle is you have nothing to your back. You don't have to worry about 360. That changes the whole dynamics of a gunfight, and it's ultimately at the crux of this game. So vehicles that are, basically, hey, we have a helicopter or we have a SUV and a Bertha, so we can just go anywhere at any time, and we're automatically safe because we're always going to be able to outrun the gas because this thing can go uphill at 60 miles an hour over any terrain. That's dumb. That's not, I don't see the need to do that. These vehicles, they make you think. Just because you have, a Bertha, that thing, or the new Bertha, I don't know what you call it, like the passenger truck, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to get wherever you want. You got to plan ahead. You try and take that thing up a 45-degree incline, it's going to go about 5 miles an hour, you're going to die in the gas. So to me, again, same with the Jeep. Faster, but you can get shot out of it super easy. I just think it makes you think more, and it makes it much, much more difficult to use the edge of the gas as a free backer and roll in and just fight a front-facing fight. That really, at the end of the day, with the terrain, with the new gameplay features, with the fact that in that first circle you're not going to be ghost. Anyone with UAV can see you in. It's just much tougher to play the edge of the gas, and that is what Activision wants. That, you know, you cannot like that, but that is the intended result here. I'm all for it. I like what they're doing. So yeah, we already talked about no early ghost, no heartbeat. Again, I mean, that's getting rid of campers. It's keeping people on the move. You can't hold back in the gas or by the gas. You got to get out ahead. You got to get in the circle, and you got to keep moving. And the one last thing we'll talk about on gameplay, just again to me, that says they are trying to fix kind of inactive players or campers, is this mechanic with the air bomb that everyone hates. I hate it right now too, because it comes in at the worst times. You can be playing really aggressive, really getting after it, and they just drop a bomb that stuns your whole team for no reason. As far as I can tell, the point of that thing is if you don't move for an extended period of time, you're an easy target, so the CPU comes and drops a bomb on you. So yeah, at the end of the day, the bomb dropping mechanism, if it worked accurately and it only hit people who were standing still, you know, weren't leaving a 10-meter area for an extended period of time. This guy's playing great. He still doesn't have another kill. It's exciting spectating. If it worked accurately, it'd be a cool mechanic that helped get rid of campers. Again, just reiterating to me that that's what they're trying to do here. Just hitting the top 20. This guy has done nothing since I've been spectating him. Finally, last thing we'll talk about is gameplay. You know, to me, I'm calling it acceptable. There are some issues, man. There's some bugs. You know, loadouts. You can set it all up in the menu. No flags about it being a problem. You pick it in the game, you only get one gun. That's ridiculous. There's all kinds of glitches. I'm playing on PC, so I'm much less impacted by them. But if you're on console, I mean, apparently it's a nightmare. There's a gun glitch where there's a graphical error where everything like flares out. You can't see. You basically can't use a gun. That's just one of many. There's some stuff that's broken where you can, if you essentially buy a certain loadout from the store, it has perks that are very, very good that you can't get, by just leveling the gun up. There's some problems, no doubt about it. It's hard to do this at the scale that Activision is doing it. The fact that the servers haven't completely fallen over repeatedly and we're able to log in and play this game, I think there is some credit to be given for that. It is a lot easier to do what some of the other games do because their player bases are just, not of the same magnitude. So it doesn't excuse what is ultimately some pretty bad development. I mean, I'm not spending much time hammering this home. There's a lot of problems in the game that are really, really frustrating. But, just trying to give a little bit of an understanding to hey, this is a very, very big operation that is, ultimately setting a pretty high bar. This game looks amazing. It's an incredible map. We talked about all the things that we like. It's a lot going on. These things can become more difficult to fix. You fix one thing, you get two more problems. So trying to be understanding on that. I'm calling gameplay acceptable. There's a lot of room for improvement. That being said, we've also had some games where nothing went wrong, looked great, felt great, played great, got a dub, and we all had a great time. So it's hard to come down too hard on, oh, this game is so broken and we should go play something else. To me, I think it's killer, man. And it's not like the feedback we're getting is, hey, we're not gonna fix anything. They're actively pushing updates through all the time. They're trying to fix this stuff. And my thing is, they fix campers, they fix cheaters, they fixed, the glaring issues with the map. I'm happy, man. I'm excited to see what they continue to do with it. I think they have a lot of stuff up their sleeve with some, kind of cool releases and extra content they can do on Caldera. So I'm excited. I'm flat out excited. Good movement, kinda. Yeah, could have worked out if it had been a hair back and he could have played it up behind the. He didn't buy shields. Didn't buy UAV. He just kept hitting his heartbeat, which I get it, but he had a ton of money. All right, well, that's the state of Warzone. Thanks for tuning in. If you're still here, please rate, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel a lot. Good luck out there in Caldera. Curious to hear what you think. Leave a comment. Let us know if you're having fun on Caldera. If you're not, we'd love to hear about it. Take it easy. Peace.